So we're going to talk the Detroit Lions. 10 and a half. 10 and a half, Dan. This is a monster. PFF had them ranked second in offense last year, fifth in defense. Obviously, one of the best teams. I guess we got to start with the coordinators because to me, that's the story of the Detroit Lions. They lose Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn. But also, don't forget, 5 assistant coaches left as well. Like, I think this is kind of the, like, thing that a lot of people don't really pay attention to, but this seems a little bit more public. They got DJ Reed, Derek Barnes. They re-signed a lot of players. I really like Tim Patrick, the wide receiver that they signed. I think he's a great third option for that team. So we'll go over the schedule here in a bit, but what was your first initial thoughts when you saw this 10.5 win for Detroit?
I mean, just absolutely zero continuity coming in from a coaching perspective for the Detroit Lions. And I think, that can't be kind of overlooked here, Andy. And I'm wearing the Detroit Tigers hat that we got when we were visiting Detroit. Amazing city. We loved it in Detroit. So I'm wearing the hat to maybe stave off the haters because I'm all in on the under for the Detroit Lions this year. At 11.5, it would be a huge play for me. At 10.5, I would still bet it, but it would be more like, a 1%, 2% kind of play for me. For me, Andy, is the schedule is going to be tough for them this year. As a matter of fact, they have the third hardest schedule in preseason, strength of schedule that we're seeing. And for me, losing those coordinators is huge, but I think you touched upon it. Losing the entire staffs behind them might even be just bigger because part of what Detroit was able to do last season was they were just this offensive juggernaut, which allowed the defense to maybe get away with some things. But when the offense was down a little bit, the defense would raise their play. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that consistency without Ben Johnson coming with the game plan every week because let's be real, whether you're a Detroit fan or not, do you really believe that Dan Campbell is the mastermind behind that offense? Do we really believe that? I mean, Dan Campbell's a spark plug. Dan Campbell will get the guys to fight for you in the foxhole. But X's and O's sometimes are going to beat what you can do with the Johnnies and Joes. And I just don't know how much they have in the X's and O's department without Ben Johnson, who I think is going to lead a pretty heavy turnaround with the Chicago Bears that you'll see when we talk about them. The other thing for me is if the goal is to win the Super Bowl, and you don't have to go 12, 13 wins to win the Super Bowl, because where did it get you last year, Detroit? Beating up on everyone in the regular season. It got you gassed out at the end that a couple plays didn't go your way, and you allow a rookie to beat you in your house to not be able to even go to the championship game. So I wasn't high on Detroit last year. I thought the other shoe was going to drop for him. I was vindicated in that. I think the shoe drops in the regular season. Tough schedule, Andy. Sure, they have some rest advantage, but I'm going under 10.5 wins for the Detroit Lions.
All right, let's take a look at the schedule here. It's just, the hits just keep coming week after week. So they go at Packers, home Bears, at Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Chiefs, Bucks, bye, Vikings, at Commanders, at Eagles, Giants, then Packers again, Cowboys, at Rams, Steelers, Vikings, Bears. Oh, that is brutal schedule. I'm with you on the under on this one. I think their team is good. Dan Campbell he's the tone setter. Yes. He's the one that gets the guys really pumped up, but you're right. They don't have to revamp. They don't have to revamp what they do, but they have to revamp the entire staff of what they do. And I'm with you 100% that getting to 11 wins with a completely new staff, especially with how
that
tough
schedule.
And it starts tough. You don't have at Packers, Bears, at Ravens, Bengals, Chiefs, Bucks, all before your bye week. You have no.
That was the thing. That was the thing for me is like that absolute, because if you lose early with where this team's expectations have been these last few years, this thing could snowball on you real quick, Andy. So we could be proved wrong right out of the gate, right? They could start 5-0. That wouldn't shock me. But if you start losing some games you that are winnable games, that can snowball for you real quickly where you're having players only meetings heading into the bye. And when that happens, you're almost already putting the cart behind the horse or in front of the horse,
And we know Dan Campbell, he loves going for it on fourth down in his own territory. And if things aren't going well, he's going to roll the dice and he's going to take some chances. And I'm in agreement with Dan that the under on this Detroit Lions, I just don't think you can overcome losing your coordinators and 5 assistant coaches. That's just a lot to overcome. So,
and also the division
Lions
got a lot better too. I will say that, and we'll talk about that in some of these other team previews. But this is what we've done so far, Andy. If people are wondering what we've done thus far.
Yeah, everyone take a long time to look at this graphic. I decided to put together this graphic, and I thought it would take me like 10 minutes, and about an hour into it, I realized that there's a reason why I don't do graphics for a living.
Yeah, yeah.